Hey, what's up, you amazing hackers? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well today. I dropped a little bit of a tweet a while ago asking you to share your projects because I wanted to go through them, but I thought when I'm going through them, why wouldn't I just make a video about it and show you amazing hackers the same thing? So let's go through your projects. If you have a project that you would like me to go through, feel free to drop a comment below. Jesus, Wes. So first of all, we have a big success block right here. I got my first bounty. I really like this success block so much that I made a video about it, so that should tell you enough. It's pretty good. It's not super detailed. There are a little bit of things that he might have done different, but besides that, like, the comments are in the video, which will be up on screen right now as well. Let's look at Call Fuse's website, shall we? Let's see what they have available for us. This seems to be a blog website so far. Let's see what they have. Some nice blogs about, yeah, some specific things, of course. Interesting. I always like it when you guys make your own blog, so please keep doing that. The thing with a blog is, even though maybe a few people only read it, maybe like hundreds of people read it, it doesn't really matter. You're writing that blog for the community, but also for yourself, because writing things down like this, it really forces you to think about what's going on and what you know, etc. Let's see, Eddie Oz has a few tools for us in his GitHub. Apparently OpenXScript, secure and private direct messaging for social media, a Chrome extension providing secure and encrypted communication on social media platforms using OpenPGP encryption standard. Oh, I really like that. I really like that. With Twitter DMs and WhatsApp web. I really like that. I might implement that. That's freaking awesome. So good job on that. That's really cool. Let's see if you have anything else on here. So you have your extension, which is already freaking amazing, but you said you had a few tools. So now I'm wondering what else you have. And by the way, if anybody is wondering, these browser extensions for Chrome, etc., you know what they are? They're just HTML, JavaScript, CSS websites. That's all that they are. There we go. So Eddie, if I missed some tools, feel free to let me know, dude. I'm sorry if I skipped over some, but oh, you said a few tools, but this is the latest one. Well, duh, Wes, maybe you should read things. That would help. Made this a few weeks ago, susqr.com. I made it because I very much dislike when QR codes go through shorteners, and I can't easily see where they end up. It started as just a QR code on shortener, but then I added the virus total scan because it's usually what I do next anyways. I really like that idea. I like that idea indeed. Yeah, especially if you have a little bit of an older phone, you never know. If you're scanning like QR codes, yeah, it could be definitely something to watch out for. Unfortunately, it's not loading, so I'll keep it on in the background, but curious. I like this idea. So apparently it's like a QR code and shortener. Oh, it's just very slow for me. So it's just unshortening QR codes. You need to upload the image file and then it unshortens them and apparently goes to virus total. Which is, I like the idea. Could be good, especially if you integrate it in other things, you know. If you have like an app, for example, and you really need that app to read QR codes, but you want them to be secure, make sure you have this, you know. Just an idea. I'm throwing stuff out there. But it is definitely an interesting idea. Good job, Jay. Slowly trying to build our social for Sniper News before we launch our website /blogs. Well, Aftershock, let me know if you do. Always interested. I think the new payload generator in JS tab is... Let's go to JS tab for a moment. I haven't looked at that yet. Let's just look at their latest release notes. There's, yeah, there we go. There's the change logs. So optional client, fingerprinting, email notifications, what else do we have? Requirement versions, bumps, root rest security, vulnerabilities. This is a big one, by the way. This is really good that they watch this because I don't know if you guys follow hacking news a little bit, but some of these hacks are actually because of third-party APIs that get hacked and stuff like that, or outdated versions or whatever, you know, so they do keep an eye on that. That's good. So I don't see the specific update that you're talking about when it comes to a payload generator, but I like it. I'll look into that. I like the idea of it. The thexssrat long back worked on one script, looking to improve it over time. Let's see what your one script code-wise does. Code scan automation. Right, so a nice banner, scan for end-of-life components, direct dependencies in code, and code level vulnerability scans. Okay, nice, I like that. How do you do that? So you use retire. Okay, yeah, that's... And then for the code level vulnerabilities, you use Trivy. Okay, got you. So basically what you're trying to do is you're automating your own workflow. That's really good, dude. That is really good, because these types of scripts might be like, oh, I spent so much time making a script, could just do it myself every time. But these types of scripts also make you think about your workflow and really define your workflow, which can only help you in the long run. So good job on that. I don't think Lone Wolf that other people are going to directly be able to use it. Why not? Because you have very specific flags with all of these things. And yeah, okay, might be good for like maybe some other people, but the thing is, I always find it important that you're able to customize your own scripts. Mainly because you need to be able to work with your own flags, but also you'll notice that once you start chaining tools, it becomes a lot more complicated. Because okay, let's say that you have a port scanner looks for websites, okay, next thing you're going to do some content discovery. It can get quite complicated in that regard, because you're going to work with like a big target maybe, so you may need to split things up, you need to do disaster recovery. It's all in the name. It is a, well, don't be discouraged by it. I'm saying that all of these things are important. They're important to learn, because like at a certain point you're going to write your own script, you're going to have it run for 2 hours, and then after 2 hours you come back to discover that it only ran for 2 minutes because you didn't put a try in there. There's always things that you can improve in that regard. And if you come across such an issue, that's great for you as a hacker, because at that point you can learn. So take that opportunity, code it while you learn, and learn a little bit of coding along the way. Excellent idea. Tip: always try to find XSS in an email address field, because companies often do not filter that. Yeah, you could try that, definitely, but like, are all of these characters allowed always? It depends if your API accepts it, etc. It depends, but I like the tip. Thank you, appreciate it. Let's see what Well-Mothry has. Brought back an improved BITB, browser in the browser, with some cool never before seen tricks. Let's see what your framework does, my friend. A new approach to browser in the browser without the use of iframes, allowing to bypass of traditional frame busters implemented by login pages like Microsoft. Ah, nice. That's really cool. I'm gonna check that out for sure. That's indeed, and especially that backstory, the why. I'm interested. I'm gonna save this. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good job, dude. That is not freaking easy. This seems like a pretty, yeah, I thought so. It's a pretty comprehensive task, isn't it, to make this? Currently on my final year, and I'm working on a multi-phased reconnaissance tool, basically integrating active and passive recon techniques as modules in the platform. I will really need input and support from pen testers on what they are expecting to see. So that comes from Taruf. He is working on a project. Let's see if other people can help him. I'll give him some input afterwards as well, just to be sure. But like, that's an interesting idea. I've always said that recon, automating recon, that's going to help you a lot, especially if you're able to automate it to a way where you can enter a subdomain, you can let it run, and you can return to your results, I don't know, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours later, and you know that it's going to be stable. At that point, you're going to have something really interesting, in my opinion. But keep in mind that active and passive recon, same thing. It'll build upon each other at a certain point. So you're going to run tool 1. Tool 1 has output. Output needs to go into tool 2. So automating is fine. but you're automating a workflow. Truth, never forget that. So just a little bit of a tip, don't forget that you're actually automating a workflow. So first, define your workflow. Next up, we have from Stilios a small C2 server. Nice, I like that. With TLS, multiple agents, obfuscation, interactive sessions, scalable, and base64 data encoding with a RESTful API. Apparently you have a Python 3 agent with a C agent to boot. I like that. The fact that people write these kinds of things themselves is really freaking awesome, because that means that you guys are having questions, you're having ideas, you have workflows that you want to automate. But you are all starting as well to realize, I think, that this is not the easiest thing to do. It's like you have an idea, you want to put it into code, it takes a long time, but it's good because it really allows you to define your workflow, the code you need, etc. Let's see what we have. Just do IT encoder decoder. Just do it is an encoder decoder that currently supports automatic and manual HTML URL encoding decoding, but I will try to add other things. I like that as well, because you'll really learn about that stuff. But the thing with this type of decoding, encoding, etc., is that it's really easy to find online. So basically, if you need to do encoder, decoder, or whatever, you can easily find something online for that. That being said, if you have a need for this in your workflow, you can use the code that you've already built to integrate into a bigger workflow script, with possibly, like we saw before, where you have like maybe one main system that's going to execute commands, that's going to generate output. You might need to encode something because you want to try when you fuzz, not to just fuzz for the list you have, but to automatically fuzz for encoded values on that list as well. Well, something like this would be great for that, because you can really easily control it. Let's see, next up we are at Damiano. I found it really interesting to read write-ups of TTF challenges when I tried to solve something similar. So I created a GitHub page where I share my own. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Looking forward to any write-ups that are going to follow. We have Carnage on here, I see. Probably you should give that a follow along, and I like that you added questions as well. What I really like about your write-ups, dude, is that you actually make it easy on the eyes to read. You're including steps, you're including screenshots, etc. Just one tip that I can give you, and that's a small tip. It's easy for these things to get lost on GitHub, so maybe it's better to make like a medium where SEO matters a lot more, etc. You do you, of course. If you think this is more fun or easier to maintain, I'm definitely not gonna say no. But it's really, like, I like the fact that you structure things so easy, and the fact that you include these questions. So I really like that. All right, good job, my friend. Ruben Ventura said new exploitation techniques and tools. nzt48.org. Oh, I really like this style. I really like this style, and that may be just because I'm an old fuck, but I really like the style of this website. Alright, the thing is just that readability is a little bit difficult on my screen. Just some feedback I have, that this is a little bit small for me on my screen. You know, the text is maybe a bit small, but besides that, I really like this style. Good job on that. New HTML injection and tag factors. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to give this blog a read through. Well, thank you. Appreciate it, Ruben. Good job. Medusa has the API Basics HSG, the hacker starting guide. Why we're introduced, examples, API Basics, data exchange from mod, API security risks, how to prevent them, and some resources. I like this. I like this as well. It is well broken down into sections. It is just that, like, I'm gonna have the same remarks here as I normally would. Like, what I'm missing a little bit is tools, how you communicate with an API, API documentation, API architectures. These are things I'm always missing a little bit for API blocks. That has nothing to do with you, Medusa. I missed that in every single block that exists, so don't worry about it. But basically, a lot of the API blocks out there, I know that it is hard to encompass everything, but it's basically the same for with all of these blocks out there. They focus on something so zoomed in, and they forget to mention the whole wide world out there. But what I really like about this guy is that he has included code examples, because it'll make it much easier for you to actually realize what an API is. It isn't something that is magical or super complicated. It is super simple, and this is what I like. You included some code right here. Maybe just a little bit of a tip. Maybe you can make some Python APIs in here and tell people how to run it themselves and tell people how to hack it themselves. That would be a good hack start guide, you know, because you're literally telling them how to create one, how to hack one, and how to set it up. It's a perfect guide for me. All right, good job, dude. And then I cannot even pronounce that name. My apologies. That's Hunter X Rita. And we have a Nanbook. Okay, so basically, yes, I like that. All of your notes are online. I really like that. It's good because you're making notes for yourself and you're sharing them with the world, which is just fantastic, dude. Sorry for that bang, by the way, but that is really fantastic. Like, I cannot have anything against this. I just have one thing that I want to give you as a tip. Again, you're really doing well, but what I would recommend is if you're hacking and learning to write shit down before you put it in here. Reason being that a Git book isn't that difficult to maintain. Like, that is a fact, of course. But even then, still, you're constantly context switching between learning and maintaining your Git book. So just grab a pen, just grab a book, write stuff down, and later update the Git book. But I really like that things here are very public, and the fact that also maybe you should open up yourself for comments. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I made this. Does anybody have a comment? Anybody give some feedback? You know, not that they'll give it, probably. I mean, it's the internet. If you ask them a question, they'll do anything but that. But still, worth a shot. All right, my friends, really great project from the community. I think you're all starting to develop things which in the long run will help not just you but other people. But you need to keep in mind that the things that you are making are great as components separately. Some of you have built complete projects. I get that as well. You know who I'm talking about probably if I'm talking about you. But for those who didn't, if you have like more smaller projects, I should say, try to make them as modular as possible, right? Instead of a fully independent program, you make it something which you could include in other things, like a Python script, which is easy to include, where I can just say, I don't know, import Medusa, and then I can say a command from Medusa, I don't know, one of the things that they made, like base64 encode with a slash, or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just examples, but if you make stuff, try to make it easy for the community to include and use your stuff if they need it. Because for me, your projects are all great, but if I'm gonna need a base64 encoder in my projects, I'm still gonna have to make it themselves. Versus, I saw some encoders in here. It would be great if I could just include them, you know? Anyway, great project, everyone. I'm really proud of you all. If you have projects that you would like me to look at, feel free to leave a comment below or just follow me on Twitter, because I plan on doing this on a regular basis. Oh, I see some more replies here. So we have 2 more replies. Apparently we have Jason Rowe's blog and we have Jaji's blog, and we apparently also have some offensive content for XSS and Medium articles. Okay, I guess. I really went that far ahead. There are some good stuff in here. So we have another blog. We have Root Cypher's blog. There's not a lot in here yet. Oh, there's X. Yeah, usability, that's a little bit like, I don't know, I would myself work on that, but that's just me, where it's like I really couldn't see the cross, but I'm just a dumbass. That's also true. Let's not forget about that. Anyway, so root cipher, we have a nice block here. Hacker group series, what's that? Hacker groups, ah, nice. So we basically explore different hacking groups. That's awesome, dude. I'm gonna have a read about that. Also, oh yes, this is what I like to see, mobile security. The thing is, guys, web security is nice, but mobile is the way forward. We all know that. So, all right, good job, my friends. I'm gonna leave it at this for now. I really appreciate everyone submitting their projects. I'm going to leave everyone's amazing projects in the description below as well, plus the full thread if you want to read it through. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I would love it if you could leave me a like. And for those who are still watching, I would like to include a little bit of a sponsored message as well, because this message is sponsored by our Cyber Crusades. And basically, our Cyber Crusades, what is that? I found out that a lot of people have some trouble finding their way and what to learn next, or what to study next, I should say. So basically, if you are studying for web hacking, there's a lot of things out there, but what things should you tackle and in what order should you tackle them? Specifically for that, I have made my Cyber Crusades. The website right now is being worked on, so that's why it's not properly loading, but I will add it to the description below once again. The whole idea is that for us, you will buy in with either cheese coins, which are a lot cheaper than if you buy in directly with money, or you just buy into a webinar, or you can buy into the full crusade. The advantage is that before the crusade starts, you will know when all of the lessons take place, so you can choose if you just want some of those lessons because you already have some proficiency, or if you would prefer to go through the entire path. It doesn't matter for us, but it makes it easier for you, because you will get a Discord bot as well. In that Discord bot, you can ask it questions like your lesson schedule and stuff like that. The Discord bot's going to try and guide you to book a lesson, to buy coins if you have to, basically generate certificates for if you have been at a lesson. We're going to give out XP for the people who are at lessons as well, so you can keep track of your growth a little bit. That's sort of the intention. So for you, it's a lot easier to manage. You're gonna have a better overview of the upcoming lessons. Plus, it can also be a lot cheaper, because if you buy coins, they're already half the price of what it would normally be. Plus, on top of that, if you buy coins, you often get free coins, 5 plus 1, 10 plus X. So there are some advantages there. And on top of that, a Cyber Crusade is going to consist of several lessons. We're going to combine the cost of all of these lessons, and we're going to put a big fat stripe through it, and we're going to say, nope, take at least 20% off, you know, so even more discount, meaning that if you were to buy with cheese coins, you could go through an entire lesson plan, which is like 20 lessons for like 150 bucks. And I'm talking about live lessons here, where I teach you through a live webinar about all of these different exploits. Where can you get such a deal for that freaking price? All right, my friends, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody for watching. You are amazing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, amazing hackers.